Hi guys, Solomon here. So I'm continuing that Laravel, components tutorial series. So today, because I have to insert some fake data into my client's application, I am going to be showing you how to use Laravel's Faker factory as well as Laravel's database seeder. So, this is really useful just when you're trying to, have some test data in your application so you can test it out as a dev. And so that's kind of the use behind it. So today we're just going to dive into how we do that specifically. So let's close my terminal real quick. So if we look over here, we have my application. This is the basic user factory that Laravel provides for you. So if you look at how it's set up, it takes whatever model you have. So if it's a user model, you define that user model, and then you define the fillables within the return array of that factory. So I'm going to show you how we can do that real quick, so we don't have to rely on looking at Laravel, so you can get a first-hand experience with that. So the first thing you got to do is you got to do PHP artisan make factory. And since we're going to be inserting some fake data for certificates, we're going to call this certificate factory. All right, so the factory was created successfully. All right, here we go. So, all right, so the first thing you notice is we got to define our model. So your models, if you put it into the namespace models, that's where your models are going to be. Otherwise, it's just going to be the default app namespace. So the model that we're going to use is certificate. It's going to show up for me. There we go. All right, and so the next thing we got to do is we got to take the fillable variables and place them into our return array for the certificate factory. All right, so first thing we're going to do is, since company ID is a relationship, we're just going to call this 1. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the name of the deceased person. So how that works is you want to get a fake name. All you got to do is call the faker, and name. All right. Then we got to get a date of birth. So faker date, we'd probably say. Date between. Nope. Let me say. And we can specify the format. We don't have to specify it though. It's going to be a random date. The age. We just say random int. Here we go. Random number. I don't know if we want to do that though. We want to have an actual age date. So let's do random. What is it? It's between? Number between. There we go. We'll say 1 through 105. Place of death. We'll just call it any location. Baker. City. Concatenated with I guess we can't get a state. We'll just call it city for right now. We'll say this is a 1 because these are Boolean values. Faker number between 1,000 and 9,000. Start operator. Faker name. And then the cremation started is a time that it started, date time that it started, so we'll call it date time. And same thing with the cremation ended, date time. All right. Process operator. Sorry, I'm kind of just looking at my phone real quick. That's why I'm kind of being a bit slow with some things and not being as talkative. Sorry, just had important things going on with the phone. Process operator, we're going to do random name again. Identification, that's just going to be a Boolean val. You know what? Instead of an actual, let's make it an actual Boolean val and not just say 1. We'll just say true instead. True. Call this true as well. All right, so the status, if I recall, this is a enum, so we're going to take this array and we're going to say faker random element, and we're going to place our array into that. We don't need the date time between, we'll just say date time, that's fine. All right, so we have our model set up. I haven't really tested this out. This is, the first go at it, so it might not work the first time, but we can resolve any bugs that might show up, so that you get first-hand experience with any potential issues. So the next thing, so we have our factory set up. Now we have to set up the actual database seeder. So let's bring our terminal back over here. We're gonna say PHP artisan make seeder certificates table seeder. All right. So as that's processing, that should be good. Okay, so that's processed. All right, I'm looking at it right now. Oh, I should probably bring over the PHP store, my bad. All right, so the first thing we got to do is we're going to take the factory helper function and we're going to create some stuff. So see how we do that real quick. So basically what you got to do is for the factory, you got to put in the, why does it say no parameters? There's supposed to be parameters. Well, that's weird. So if I recall, you're supposed to take in the actual model. So we're gonna say certificates is our model. Say class, and then you have to specify the amount of records that you want to add into those into the database. So we're just gonna say 25 records. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to then create the function necessary. So function, the parameter of the function. So we're going to call it certificate. All right. And I think we should not be set. There we go. All right. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to just say, hey, I'm going to actually specify what kind of variables is the PHP doc real quick. At var certificate and certificate. So it's just easier to call on some of the parameters, or not the parameters, but the attributes. Certificate, save. And since we're not really even calling any attributes, I probably shouldn't have even done that. So basically, I think this is, we should be ready to run the seeder command. So I'm going to pull up my database real quick. We're going to log out of a few things real quick. Disconnect. All right, we should be ready now. All right, so we're going to pull over my database right now. I'm not sure if you can see it properly since it's kind of small right now, but we're going to go to certificates, data. As you can see, there's nothing in here so far. And so this might not run smoothly the first time. Let's see what might happen. But we're going to pull over our terminal. We're going to say PHP artisan, not make seeder, but db seed. And then we're going to say class is equal to the certificates table seeder. All right. Like I said, this might not work out the first time since I might be missing a few attributes. I think I know what I'm actually missing. I'm missing process time in the data in the model. So there's supposed to be a process time over here. So that would have caused an error, I think. Might have caused an error. I'm not 100% sure. Well, you know what? We're just going to give it a try. Oh, all right. So that went through successfully, I believe. So let's refresh the database. And as you can see, it inputted some fake data for us. So yeah. Okay. So that's kind of a long explained version of how you can seed your database with fake data and how you can use Laravel's Faker library as well. This is very useful for developers who are making applications where they just need to test out the application, and you can't really test an application without any data, but you don't want to manually put in all that data. So this is what Faker and the database seeder provide for you. So that's one component that we went through over today. The next thing I'm probably going to work over or talk about will be how to work with Laravel Mail and the markdown emails and stuff like that. So yeah, I appreciate watching the video. Solomon out. Take care. Bye-bye.